Hello everybody. Today I bring you two very popular cars, or actually I should say one popular car because they're the exact same thing. However, this is going to be a comparison of two different manufacturers. I have a Bburago Lamborghini Aventador here, 18th scale, and an 18th scale Welly Aventador. This one is most certainly the more common one, and if you have an Aventador model, this is likely the one you have, unless it's a high-end one. These particular ones are rather difficult to find here in the States, in North America. As far as I know, they are sold in Europe regularly and as well as throughout the rest of the world. Not sure why Welly isn't pursuing the US market. It's rather interesting. But anyway, these two models are supposed to be the exact same thing. They're based on the exact same prototype. Price differences, yes, there's certainly a little bit of a difference. However, it's not that significant. I bought this for $50 in total. This was, if I recall, 32 US dollars. And the difference in price is very, very apparent, even though it's so small. And this is why I love Welly so much. This is a far better model than this is. You've seen a review in the past of this particular model, and it was not favorable. I don't like this. It has a lot of issues. For one, I won't go through everything, of course, but the metalwork is absolutely horrid. You could see nothing really fits well together. Even underneath the door, you can see. The doors are stable, I will give that, but the mirrors certainly aren't. Mine was a defect. It actually didn't come with a Lamborghini logo or the camera on the back. I had to actually put in the rear light. Engine's pretty good. The detail on the interior and the engine is decent, but random, it almost looks like the paint just kind of fell down, and there's a little bubble there, another bubble there. Just really, it was very disappointing. And there was also the wheels, which were kind of stuck, pointing, I believe it was to the right. I fixed them. Yes, they were pointing to the right permanently, which was very annoying. So I kind of jammed it with a little string to hold it in place. So those were all the issues with the Brago. And of course there are some more. It doesn't have suspension or anything like that. And the biggest thing is the scale. When you pick up this car and you put it next to other models, particularly this one, see if you can tell the difference. The Welly is a lot bigger than the Bburago, and this is actually a correct scale. I checked it. This is not. This is too small. And you kind of notice it with the wheels. You almost notice the wheels are just they look awkwardly small. On this Welly, on the other hand, I'll put this guy aside. I do not have a string holding the wheels in place. They turn very well, and they do have suspension. It doesn't work fantastically, but it does work reasonably well. Underneath, some really nice designs. There isn't much to see underneath these Lamborghinis just because of aerodynamic purposes, but all the detail is there. Up front, really nice headlight, and unlike the Bburago, so here's the Brago Headlight and the Welly headlight. So you can really see that iconic Y-shape LED versus the Brago, which you really can't. In fact, they emphasize the area below the LED, which actually isn't really seen all that much other than when the lights are on, or when the blinkers are on. So not sure why they made that chrome. But Welly, it's a very different story. I mean, everything on this car, even the windshield wipers are of higher quality. This really, it may have been $50, but it very well could have been upwards to $100. Missing some of the carpeting details and, fancy stuff like that. So a nice trunk. Again, little fine details on the edge that on the Bburago are for the most part missing. You can see even the trunk, they didn't focus on it all that much. So not much attention to detail in this vehicle. This one, on the other hand, they really did a top-notch job. This doesn't open up quite as much as the Bburago, but that's fine. The engine looks relatively similar. However, the Welly is clearly more detailed. Has even a little, almost a window type thing here. All the bolts very clear. Nice window. This license plate I put on myself. As many of you know, I like to customize all the license plates. This is another very big improvement for the Welly. Unfortunately, my camera isn't focusing all that well on it, but these taillights, the design of the taillight is underneath the plastic quote-unquote glass. Here, they actually painted the blinker on the top. Very, very toy-like. This is something you'd see on like a Matchbox car. And there's absolutely no design on the inside. Although, well, you know, it looks like there's a little bit, but not much, and you really can't see it. This has a much better design. Also, notice how sharp these edges are. And as you run along these lines, none of those paint drips that we saw in the Bburago. Actually, when I hold them this way, you can also notice the size as well. All the lines are much more flush. It makes it harder to open unless you have really good fingernails, but it makes it look a heck of a lot better, a lot more accurate to the real car. Even the exhaust pipes. See, it has the 4 there. Brago neglected that on theirs. And going down, it's an absolutely striking vehicle. It really is. Very sleek, very low to the ground. Proper supercar. The inside, now I have to credit where credit is due. Bburago did a decent job on the interior, but unfortunately not as good as Welly. You can see this has every button colored in, has the Lamborghini logo on the dash. The seats matching the exterior, that's accurate to the options that are available on the Aventador. Very, very nice. These scissor doors are just absolutely cool. Take a look inside there. Real nice. All the buttons, even like the gauges behind. And I'll show you the Bburago just so you can get an example or a comparison between the two. So as you can see, it looks decent. It looks pretty good. However, you don't actually have that option of the white matching on the interior. But that would technically be an option, so that's fine. Not as fine on the inside. The Welly also has these windows here, which I suppose partially block off the interior from dust, but not all that much. It's still open. I don't know why it's there, but that's fine. They look cool. And when you set these things up, absolutely a great looking car. Almost looks like the Bburago kind of pulls out a little bit more. But in conclusion, this is an excellent, excellent model. If you can get your hand on one of these Lamborghini Aventadors by Welly, go for it. It's a great model. It's for the money. You can't go wrong. This, don't buy it. If you have it, you already know why I recommend not buying it. And the reason why I got this was actually because I was so disappointed with this. I gave that away to my brother. But anyway, so it's really a lesson of you get what you pay for. The more you pay for this, the better you're going to get. And you don't actually have to pay all that much more. $20 more, and you get a much better model that you can be happy with. Alright, so hope this was helpful to anybody considering buying these vehicles. And thanks for watching.